Good question. Perspective is all I can go off of, and I don't really remember what day one was like a year ago or the year before or the year before. So try to measure it and what I thought spring was like and where I think we need to be by the end of fall camp. And great to have more depth, great to have more bodies, great to have a relatively healthy team, and from the structure, the format, and retention, that part looked good. From the execution and precision and effort, that part has a ways to go. So I think knowledge of assignments was retained pretty well, speed of the game and how fast we're playing and how precisely we're playing on both sides. That clearly needs to go up, but maybe that's to be expected on day one.
You mentioned depth. You have a lot of guys back from last season. How important is that now?
Well, I think what I was just sharing with the retention part, the number of assignment mistakes for the first day was very minimal, which is a great thing. Now, the precision of the execution wasn't quite as sharp, but we didn't have to do nearly as much teaching on day one as what we've had to do in the past, and so that should speed up the chance to get our game plans in and possibly accelerate our work on Ole Miss maybe a little bit earlier if we can get the execution and those things to maybe match it at an earlier time as well.
Only about a dozen newcomers roughly, so a lot less teaching to have to go on.
A lot less teaching, and the newcomers are now 4th or 5th on the depth chart. Most positions, there's still some that are 3 deep, but most are 4 deep, and there's a couple that are 5 deep, and so those guys didn't get a lot of work today, and they probably won't, barring injury, etc., and that'll be a hard experience for them, but it's also reflective of the program's maturity, and it's been a while, especially in the line positions where we've had that luxury.
Do you have the depth to overcome the loss of Matt Putnam on the D-line?
I think so, and I at this stage I would stop just short of saying Matt is ineligible. There's a chance that he could rejoin the team the first day of school. He is still working on academics. He'll have to have some academic work and a petition or a waiver, so there's a lot that goes into it. But there is still a chance, and so we're preparing like he will not be eligible, but I also need to make you aware that there's a chance the first day of school that he'll be coming. He's conditioning, he's working out, he's working on his schooling, but right now it's a long shot.
What's Jaden Wagner's status with you?
Jaden Wagner has a slight hamstring strain, and he was working also on his readmission, so by the time when he went to go to Canada, when he declared to go to the Canadian League, and then so readmission, and then in the off-season workouts, he had a hamstring pull, and he's about 65, maybe 60%. And so there's kind of a combination of two things. He's watching and was out here basically in the gear just to support his teammates, but it'll be a while before he's with us, so at least at full speed.
Not fully cleared, though, in terms of technically either?
No, not, okay. At least not as this morning before at my last report.
Okay. Why did you not run to the Y this morning?
There was a number of reasons. One of them was the spring and summer, as you know, are times that we can't monitor our players. We can't see them work out. We can't check their attendance. And I thought that it was really important with the format that we had today that the team and the coaches see exactly the level of preparation our team put in going into day one. When you're at the Y, you see the finish and you see the time, but you don't really see from beginning to end every single player. And I thought for this particular team at this stage, it was good for them to be accountable to each other and for the team to learn more about each other and trust more going into our next challenge. And so rather than just greet him at the top, seeing him do it the whole way and then decide what level of readiness we are as a team.
Were you pleased with what you saw?
I was, and always room for improvement. And every year there's a few surprises positively, and there's a few surprises that you wish were in better condition. The great thing about spring and summer is it's only the players' choices. It has nothing to do with the coaches, and it really gives you a great idea of who's put in the work. And so that was why the format was changed a little bit. I think camp will have to be accelerated. I think our preparation will have to be sharper with the season we have coming up, and that seemed to be a logical way to start it.
With Matt Putnam out, is Ian Doolin going to still redshirt?
That's still the hope. A plan as of today, and it could change, is to cross-train Loney or Hebron. And so Graham, Rowley, and Hebron are a pretty nice combination at that end spot. And so we have enough players as of today, and I think we're solid at nose. If Romney's knee and Jordan's knee, and we're playing Jordan Richardson at end, if they continue to progress all the way through camp, then we'll be fine. If not, then especially the way Ian ran today and the way he worked, he looked pretty good, then that would be a last resort, but I'd rather have him for next year.
Bronco?
Yeah.
Okay, with the position battles not being as much as maybe in past years, does that change the way you're going to evaluate practice at all?
Not necessarily, because what's happening is the position battles are now, I think, maybe even more fierce two deep wise. And so, for instance, if you look at our outside linebacker positions, if you look at our inside linebacker positions, if you look at running back, if you look at tight end, maybe even defensive line, and in the secondary there's a few spots. I think the competition will actually be more fierce between better quality and not as many unknowns as to will we have a player to play that spot. It's maybe how the reps will be divided. And my hope is that, again, I'm looking for maybe a higher level of performance from our team through camp at a faster pace than what we've had before, because I think it's a difficult schedule and a difficult early
so that
schedule.
would be different then.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of focus on the special teams early in
Yes,
camp.
I think our special teams can perform and needs to perform at a higher level, and so we're putting increased emphasis on it, and hopefully that'll show this year.
Outside, Alani Fua and Kevin Bills, were they able to go all the way today? Or?
I don't know about Alani Fua, and nor do I know about Kevin Bills. I haven't had a report from Kevin and/or academic people, etc. So Monday I'll probably be able to tell you, but as of right now, I don't know what happened to them. They were with us when we started,
Right.
and where they went, not certain.
What does a second teamer have to do to move up?
Make plays. And so the effort has to be the same, the knowledge of assignments has to be the same, the leadership has to be the same, and then they have to make more plays than whoever's in front of
But
them.
does the first teamer have to falter?
Certainly, because he's earned it by being more consistent over a longer period of time.
Melosi walking on.
Melosi's a walk-on, yes.
Okay. Was that a surprise to get him back, or?
It's a pleasant surprise. Melosi called, middle of the summer, early summer. I'm not quite sure when, and wanted to come back. And it's good to have him back. We were originally considering playing him in the secondary, and after continue to look where we might need another player, we're putting him at running back.
It's been a while since we've seen Pendleton on full go on a day one of anything for a while. It was nice.
Better than nice.
You're pretty happy with him today?
Yeah, he did a great job. He's in excellent shape. He's really motivated. He's a good leader, and he's a really good player.
Does an injury history with him concern you?
Sure it does, and we're really aware. And with him, there aren't trust issues in terms of how hard he's going to work, and so you might see us manage his practice differently based on his history of injuries and how hard he tries.
So maybe like what you did with the Harvey Unger for
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
What do you think of the open guard spot right now on the offensive line?
I like that it's open with a lot of guys knocking at the door. There's a difference between open and a long hallway and you don't see anybody, and then open and there's a line of guys like you're going to a movie, and that's kind of the way it looks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right? Okay.
Thanks, Bronco.